It is Thursday, May 28th, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Dan Miller, and I'm ready to move some freight.
This is Jules Sterling.
I'm Elena Rossi.
And I'm Buck Reynolds. We have a great show for you today.
Look, we are coming off a massive, a very busy Wednesday. Yesterday, we were dissecting that UP and Norfolk Southern merger dance, which, look, it's basically the Super Bowl of rail. We also talked about the Build America 250 Act. Buck, I know you're still humming about those restroom mandates. And we touched on the end of the broker shield with that Supreme Court ruling.
It was a lot to process, Dan. Especially the Walmart consolidation move. People are still texting me about the budget shock for the small suppliers.
Well, the shock is only beginning. Today, we're pivoting from the rails to the silicon. Motive just dropped a tactical nuke of AI news at their Vision 26 summit, and we're seeing the fallout from the Strait of Hormuz hitting the diesel pumps at $5.12 a gallon. It's a busy board today, folks. Let's look at the play.
Bottom line, the transportation industry isn't just using AI anymore. It's being rebuilt around it. Yesterday in Nashville, Motive, the guys formerly known as Keep Truckin', unveiled what they're calling Atlas. It's an AI assisted, but not like Siri. This thing is basically an offensive coordinator for your fleet.
It's more than just a chatbot, though, right? I saw the specs on the new Dashcam Plus.
Oh, it's a beast. It's running over 30 AI models simultaneously on a Qualcomm processor. Look, here's the play. It's moving from, hey, you're about to hit something, to actual collision avoidance. It uses stereo vision to model pedestrians, cyclists, even animals, and gives the driver a 3 to 4 second head start.
3 seconds? Dan, in a loaded rig at 65, 3 seconds is a lifetime.
Actually, Buck, the liability shift is what interests me. If the AI is triaging events and resolving HOS violations through conversational prompts, who is the responsible party when the machine clears a driver who's actually fatigued?
That's the grit of it, Elena. Motive says Atlas can scan safety and fuel data to generate morning briefings for fleet managers. It drafts the coaching messages for you. It's trying to solve the fragmentation wall, where you've got 10 different apps that don't talk to each other.
Well, it's sort of what we're seeing with Torque Robotics, too, right? They just partnered with Mila, that's the AI Research Institute, to advance autonomous trucking. It feels like the tech nerd side of the industry is finally merging with the iron side.
I'll believe it when I see an AI agent chain up in a Wyoming blizzard. But, I guess if it helps the office folks stop bugging me about a logbook error that was just a typo, maybe it's got legs.
My thing is the automated fault management. Motive claims the platform can now detect a critical engine fault and automatically trigger an intervention. That's a risk manager's dream. If it works. If it's a false positive that shuts a truck down on the I-95 at rush hour, that's a catastrophe.
Right? But look, the market is starving for this. We've got this $200 million TMV logistics fund that just launched, backed by Prologis and the American Bureau of Shipping. They aren't betting on cool tech. They're betting on industrial-grade autonomy. The smart money is done waiting for the recession to end. They're building the infrastructure now so they can sprint when the green flag drops.
Speaking of the green flag, we need to talk about the May spike. Brent crude is trading at $104.50. This isn't just market jitters. It's kinetic.
I saw the sign at the pilot this morning. $5.12 a gallon. My wallet actually winced.
It's the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM confirmed this morning that U.S. forces shot down 4 Iranian one-way attack drones. We even took out a ground control station in Bandar Abbas. Iran tried to set up this Strait Authority to collect tolls, and the U.S. Treasury just sanctioned the whole office.
So if a carrier pays the toll to get through safely, they're technically violating U.S. sanctions?
Exactly. You're trapped between a drone strike and a federal indictment. And because of the GPS jamming near the strait, ships are going dark, AIS off, just to transit. That uncertainty is why your diesel is up 14% in 3 weeks.
It's a prevent defense that's failing, Elena. The fuel surcharge lag is going to kill the mid-size fleets. You can't wait 10 days for the surcharge to catch up when you're paying $5 plus at the pump today. It's like trying to run a 2-minute drill with a broken leg.
I mean, and it isn't just the Middle East. Russia just suspended diesel exports to non-friendly nations for 90 days. That's 900,000 barrels a day just poof, gone from the pool.
It's regulatory pragmatism at its messiest, as I said yesterday. But look closer to home. The USMCA 2026 joint review started in Mexico City. We're at a pivot point. Do we keep the continental stability, or do we enter a decade of rolling renegotiations that make long-term lane planning impossible?
I was talking to a retail VP this morning. She's terrified. If the nearshoring boom hits a tariff wall, all those factories in Monterrey become incredibly expensive liabilities.
And that leads to the Cargill situation. 1,700 workers locked out in Fort Morgan, Colorado. Teamsters rejected the contract. They're demanding an extra 30 cents an hour. And get this, bathroom break dignity.
Good for them. You ever tried to find a clean stall in a packing plant on a 10-minute break? It's a mission.
Be that as it may, Buck, cattle futures are sliding because the slaughtering operations are suspended. Cargill is redirecting trucks to other plants, but that creates massive deadhead miles and scheduling chaos. It's a ripple effect.
Hey, before we pivot to Buck's world, we have a quick note from our sponsor. Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering, and that's exactly what this show is built on. The High Road is powered by the stack developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. If you value the tech that keeps our insights moving, support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia. You can get a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF series. It's the same data we use to prep for these episodes. Check it out at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia.
I use that PDF for my client calls, Dan. It makes me look much smarter than I actually am.
We all do, Jules. We all do.
All right, here's the deal. It's time for From the Sleeper Cab, our Thursday segment, where we get the view from the driver's seat and see what's actually hitting the pavement. And look, it was a rough week for the paper log holdouts.
Operations Room?
Operation Full House is right. Arizona DPS troopers set up a surgical strike at the Ehrenberg port of entry on the I-10. They only inspected 254 trucks, but they handed out 925 violations. That's almost 4 violations per rig, Dan.
That's a lot. Were they all safety issues?
Most of them were ghost-in-the-machine violations. The troopers weren't just checking the clock, they were auditing the ELD integrity. They're looking for unassigned driving time. If the wheels moved and no name is on those miles, they're treating it as falsification. They're using this new April 1st CVSA guidance to hunt for re-engineered logs.
It's about the audit trail. If you edit the record without the federally required metadata, you're basically handing them a signed confession of negligence.
Right? 32% of those vehicles were put out of service. Imagine being a fleet manager getting that call. Hey, boss, the truck's fine, but the computer says we're lying, so I'm parked for 24 hours.
Well, it's not all bad news for drivers, though. Did you see the Nussbaum transportation announcement?
I did. Hudson, Illinois. They just dropped the biggest compensation overhaul in their history. We're talking 3 to 5 cents per mile raises across the board. But the kicker is the key market multiplier. If you're based in Chicago, Indy, or Columbus, they're bumping your pay by 10 cents a mile.
Oh, 10 cents? That's a tactical raise right there. They're targeting the high-density lanes where the turn is fast and the stress is high.
Nussbaum is projecting that an experienced driver in those markets could easily clear $100,000 by year 2. Plus, they doubled the early exit option. If you realize in 90 days the company isn't a fit, they'll pay you $2,000 to just leave quietly.
That's actually brilliant. It reduces the turnover friction and keeps the bad fits from souring the fleet culture.
And while you're making that money, you might be doing it in a Peterbilt Freedom 250. It's their special edition Model 589 to celebrate the country's 250th anniversary. It's got that old-school chrome and class, but it's running the new Cummins X10 engine.
The X10 is the bridge, isn't it?
It is. Cummins is pushing it hard because of those EPA 2027 standards. They're launching it a year early to give fleets a buffer before the 2027 emissions cliff. It's a 10-liter that punches like a 13-liter. It's good iron, plain and simple.
So, Buck, what's the verdict? Are the drivers happy about the raises or mad about the Arizona troopers?
I mean, we're drivers, Dan. We're both. But seeing a $100,000 salary target becoming the new normal for OTR dry van? That's the first time I've seen the industry actually value the time away from home correctly. That's from the Sleeper Cab for this week. Let's hope the inspectors in Arizona take a lunch break.
I want to pivot to something that might actually change the business model for everyone at this table. The Supreme Court just handed down a unanimous 9-0 ruling in Montgomery versus Carib Transport.
Whew! The broker shield is officially gone.
It's shattered. Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the opinion. Basically, a driver named Sean Montgomery lost his leg when he was hit by a truck from Carib Transport. Carib had a conditional safety rating and a history of HOS violations. Montgomery didn't just sue the carrier. He sued the broker, C.H. Robinson, for negligent hiring.
And the court said the FAAA, the law that usually protects brokers, doesn't apply to state negligence claims under the safety exception.
Exactly. This means brokers can no longer just say, not my truck, not my problem. If you book a carrier with a poor safety rating just because they're cheap, you are now personally liable on your balance sheet if that carrier has an accident.
Look, this is going to force a total rewrite of the automated brokerage world. Right now, these digital shops are booking thousands of loads a day via API. They aren't vetting safety records beyond, is the authority active? If they have to do a deep dive safety audit on every carrier for every load, the cost per transaction is going to skyrocket.
Good! Maybe they'll stop giving my freight to some fly-by-night outfit that doesn't know how to adjust their brakes.
It's going to move the market toward gold standard carriers. If you're a carrier with a clean record and a satisfactory rating, you just became the most valuable asset in the broker's Rolodex. If you're conditional, you might as well be radioactive.
It's a major win for driver safety, but it's a massive liability spike for the industry. And speaking of liability, did you guys see the Four Brothers bust in Ontario?
The extortion ring?
It's wild. Peel Regional Police, with help from the FBI, took down an international criminal network that was targeting South Asian trucking companies. They weren't just fishing, they were sending shooters. They linked the group to 24 violent incidents, including arsons and shootings. They seized 6 firearms and documented over 300 rounds fired.
You're kidding me. In Brampton?
Brampton, Mississauga, California, too. They were demanding protection money. It's organized crime treating transportation hubs like a personal piggy bank. 106 criminal charges in total.
It shows the vulnerability of our hubs. We focus so much on cybersecurity, but physical security for fleet owners is becoming a life or death issue.
Bottom line, the Iron Lady is right. We're dealing with high-tech AI in the cab, but 1920s-style gangsterism in the parking lots. It's a bizarre world out there right now.
Let's wrap with some leadership shifts. Kenworth is making a move that I think we should all appreciate. Peter Ahrens is taking over as general manager, but the big news is Joe Adams moving to assistant GM of operations.
Adams was the chief engineer. That's the story right there.
Exactly. They put an engineer in the executive tower. This signals that Kenworth is doubling down on physical reliability during this tech transition. When the guy running the show knows how the wiring harness is laid out, you're less likely to get those fancy innovations that break the second they hit a Kansas crosswind.
I like it. It's sort of like Maersk having to pay that $1.9 million penalty to the FMC over detention billing. The regulators are finally saying, we don't care about your cool global logistics platform. You have to follow the basic rules of fair billing.
Maersk got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. $1.9 million is a rounding error for them, but it's a signal to every other carrier that the FMC is watching the invoices.
Actually, it's a permanent shift in how detention and demurrage will be handled. Shippers and 3PLs just got a lot more leverage. Reliability is being mandated from the top down.
That's all for today's High Road Logistics and Leadership. Bottom line, from the $100,000 driver pay targets to the death of the broker shield, the industry is valuing quality and safety over raw capacity for the first time in years. Whether it's Motive's Atlas Assistant or a Peterbilt with an engineer at the helm, the message is clear. The road ahead belongs to the professionals.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel.